Right. Today is my 10-year anniversary of entrepreneurship. I say anniversary, I feel like there is no start date to when you become an entrepreneur. It's only in hindsight when you look back and realise that there was a lot of indicators that you probably didn't do things the normal way. And here we are. But today marks 10 years since I launched my first business. So I'm reminiscing on those 10 years and I'm sharing my top 10 lessons that I have learned in those years after launching multiple businesses and generating millions in sales. Now, I've still got a long way to go before I can brand myself as successful, but I can't discredit what I've done in those 10 years. So let's run through it. Now, like most entrepreneurs, I have a list of startups under my belt that never made the cut. But what you do is you learn from the failures, you stack the wins, and then you hit gold. My first one was a clothing brand. Obviously, I feel like a clothing brand is the barrier entry to entrepreneurship. If you find me an entrepreneur, I will guarantee he has probably sold some sort of clothing in the past. It's where most entrepreneurs start, and it was where I started. That business generated a little over 70,000, which I'm sure actually lost me more than I realise, and I probably had a little tax fraud attached to that somehow. The first business is always a little bit illegal because you don't know what you're doing, you're trying to figure everything out, so we'll skim over that bit. Now, I didn't make much physical currency with that brand, but I made millions in mental currency. And after folding that business, I then went into the following. Pick a mix business, good margins, terrible fulfillment time. A competition business, insane margins, terrible marketing costs due to lack of trust. A design studio for fashion brands, okay money, awful work rate, so many edits. Anyone that has designed for people, so many edits, you know what I mean. And then I slipped into artwork, and let me tell you how I slipped into artwork. So I was actually relaunching a clothing brand, and whilst waiting for the stock, I was messing around creating some artwork. And as we were waiting for our first shipment of stock of clothing, we put these videos online of the artwork that we'd made, and they just happened to blow up on TikTok, which was a difficult position for us because we have all this stock coming in for this business, but we're seeing insane potential with this artwork. So we decided to go down the artwork route, and this business literally blew up overnight. We were 2 months in and we had a TikTok blow up. I think it's on about 8.4 million views now. That catapulted us on social media. We done 15,000 in sales in 2 days, which was more than enough of a sign for me that we are onto something here. So I kept making sick designs. Luckily, people agreed and kept buying them, and we just kept pushing it. So now, 2 years on, we have generated over 1 million in sales, 5,000 orders, and 82 different countries shipped to, which is crazy. So now I have a list on my phone, which I use to note down important lessons I've learned, and I read on them in times of doubt, and it spurs me on to keep going. So for you lucky so-and-sos, I'm going to run through that list in no particular order and dissect my top 10 lessons that I have learned in the last 10 years as an entrepreneur. So let's not waste any time, let's get into it. Lesson number 1, creativity comes in waves. You have to ride the wave when it's there. Now, this is one that didn't come easily with someone with a lot of design background. I used to get frustrated when I couldn't squeeze out ideas at my desk, just staring at a blank Photoshop screen. And what I've learned is creativity is not far from motivation. No one has an unlimited source of it. Motivation can be dealt with by self-discipline, but creativity cannot. So you're either pumping out genius ideas or you're sat there staring at a screen contemplating life. So creativity is like a wave. If you don't ride it when it's there, you don't know when the next one's going to be there. Now, there are definitely some additional implementations you can add to improve your chances of hitting the wave. And the most important for me is to create a space and a mindset dedicated to your creative workflow. You can teach yourself to open your mind when you enter this space, sort of like a ritual. For example, I have a studio that I have designed that makes me want to go in there. I have an album dedicated to my designing that gets me fired up every time. And it reaches that point in my brain where it says, oh shit, it's time to get creative. And for anyone wondering, the album is Dermot Kennedy, Without Fear. 10 out of 10, does it every time. Now, as much as I love my studio, I understand that the same places breed the same ideas. If you mix up your environment, you'll mix up your thoughts. So get out as much as possible. I love taking my laptop to new places and seeing what ideas spring to mind. Plus, if nothing comes of it, you've got out and seen somewhere new. Okay, next lesson I've learned. You are wrong 99% of the time until you are right 100%. Let me explain what I mean. Every business I've started has failed 99% of the time until it's successful 100% of the time. Just like every relationship I've been in has failed 99% of the times until you get married, and then you're right 100% of the time. Your losses don't mean anything once you're successful. So as long as you're right one time, it cancels out the rest of the time that you were wrong. And trust me, I know when you're sat there in the 99% wrong space, it's depressing. Your family trying to tell you maybe get a normal job, friends cracking little jokes, everyone wondering what the fuck you're doing. until something hits. And then everyone says, I knew you could do it. I'm so proud of you. Remember, you can be wrong 100 times. You just need to be right once. Okay, lesson 3. Listen up if you're stubborn like me. You can't do everything great. You can only do everything average. So a business has hundreds of things that need doing daily. And if you're like me, you want to make sure everything gets done to your standard. So you personally make yourself in charge of ticking everything off that list by doing it yourself. But the truth is that's a lose-lose game. You can't spread your focus and efforts over all of these jobs. That's where parts of the business get sloppy. You need to pick 1 or 2 things to do great and delegate the rest. This way you won't let standards slip, you won't get heavily burnt out. And the truth is, this might hurt some egos, people are better at the jobs than you are. I know that was a hard one for me to hear as well. Okay, next up on the list, give every pound, dollar, yen, euro, whatever, a job. Whatever currency you're transacting with, make sure you give every pound a job. This is so important to do, especially when starting out. All income needs to be pushed back into the business and delegated. We learned this the hard way. We didn't put money aside for tax, which almost crippled us. So now we have a financial structure in place to make sure that never happens again. Forming a budget will make this a lot easier. It doesn't need to be anything special, just something is better than nothing, because you can't be guessing this stuff. You can tweak your budget as you go, but this is probably one of the most important lessons on here. All right, next lesson is one I preach about a lot because it's true. And no one talks about it. Be scarce with discounts. Now, I say this loudly because I want you to understand that if you are constantly promoting daily discounts, your customers are going to feel cheated if they pay full price for your product. And you never want to be a brand that can't sell your product at full price. Now, don't get me wrong, I fully believe that you should reward your loyal customers with discounts, and putting a sale on or throwing a discount every now and again to boost revenue is a great idea. But don't become reliant on them. It's just a terrible image for your brand. For example, with Apart Studio, the most money we have ever made is when we are trying not to make money. Be firm with your pricing always. If they want your product, they will pay for your product. You never want to beg for the sale. It's just not a good look for any business. All right, we are halfway through. I hope you're enjoying the video and start implementing the advice I've given so you don't make the same mistakes that I have made in my businesses. Any like or subscription would be amazing. As you know, I'm new to YouTube, so it would go a long way for me. Anyway, let's get back into it with lesson number 6. And I know everyone that has a business or has had a business would have done this at some point. It's a hard one to crack, but it is crucial. Lesson number 6, don't let your business dictate your mood. And what does that mean, Andrew? That means when your business is having a good day, you are having a good day. When your business is having a bad day, you are having a bad day. Now, learning to separate your personal emotions from your business is a skill in itself. So try to learn that as quick as possible, because there isn't a business in the world that has a good day every single day. Businesses aren't linear. They have good days, bad days, ups, downs. The key to business is making sure you have more good days than bad days. That is it. So learn that quick, because there isn't a business in the world that has a good day every single day. Try to look at your business from a monthly perspective instead of a daily perspective. Plus, give yourself some credit. Running a business is fucking hard. Be proud of that. Your business has survived 100% of its bad days. Good job. Keep it up. Next up, number 7. Now, remember, these are in no particular order. I don't think any are more important than others. All right, number 7, stay away from pessimistic people. I really mean stay away from them. They will taint your mindset and have you second guessing the decisions you have made with their limited mindset. Now, you never realize how much someone's thoughts and energy can affect yours until you hang around with people that lift you up. Now, if you feel like there isn't anyone in your life that is dragging you down, I ask you to do one favor. Go to a networking event with other like-minded people in your industry and see how you feel when you come away from that. Once you've experienced the feeling of people genuinely lifting you up and motivating you, you'll be able to quickly identify the people in your life doing the opposite. They'll light up like you have fucking night vision goggles at midnight. Now, this is obviously extremely hard when friends and even family fall into that category, but you have to think, what is more important to you? Now, you don't need to fully cut them out, but distance is going to be required. Number 8, exercise is a crucial pillar in every entrepreneur's journey. Entrepreneurs naturally have a lot of thoughts flying around their head daily, thousands every minute probably. I definitely know I do, and understand that 90% of these are probably useless ideas, but the 10% can be crucial for your next move in business, or even life for that matter. Exercise helps us dictate the good from the bad, because when we're exercising, we mentally relax a lot more, and we listen to our subconscious thoughts, which is where all the gold lies. You may hear people always say that the best ideas come from the gym or the shower. And that is because you're not looking for your best ideas then, which is exactly when they come. Please, for the love of God, write them down. Now, I've solved the world's problems in some of my gym sessions, and I trusted my hectic brain to actually remember them. alongside the thousands of other ideas. Lo and behold, the ideas left quicker than they arrived. So don't be a sausage like I was. Okay, coming close to the end now, I do really appreciate you watching this far. So number 9, quite a long one. Prepare to be misunderstood. People will find you cringe and hate on you for bettering yourself. Remember that people hating are always doing less than you. Winners want to see people win, losers want to see people lose. Now, Olympic bodybuilders will never hate on someone starting the gym. Hollywood actors would never hate on someone auditioning for a small role. Mr. Beast would never hate on me for starting a YouTube channel. I hope anyway. Now, have you ever noticed that complete strangers will cheer you on more than people you have known your whole life? And that is because they are pissed off that they have grown in the same environment as you and you are progressing more than them. They're envious of that. People have a perception of you. And when they see you doing something that doesn't align with their perception of you, they see it as you trying to be someone that you're not. Ignore that. No one really knows who you are apart from you. Right, wrapping up with number 10. This has no financial gain, just insane life gain. That is it. Document everything. The journey, the hard work, the late nights, the work trips, early mornings, the laptop grind, samples, prototypes, photo shoots, the wins, the losses, everything. You will always hear people say, I wish I documented more, but you never hear anyone say, I feel like I've documented too much. We tend to get used to our current situations in life very quickly. So when you document a journey and reminisce on it, you can see just how far you've come and it gets emotional. I mean, I myself definitely wish that I got the camera out more in the last 10 years. And I know when you're so caught up with work, the last thing you think of is, I should get a camera out and record this, I should take photos of this. But always try to remember that the videos and the photos probably don't seem like anything at the present time, but when you're looking back in the future, reminiscing, showing grandkids, maybe even Netflix, it is priceless because you can never get that back. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my 10 lessons of entrepreneurship in 10 years. I truly hope that this video has inspired you, improved you, fired you up. And I would love to hear any lessons that you've learned in entrepreneurship in the comments. Until next time, peace out.